It's all the above, best believe we do it better. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us. What up?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Angel Marie from All the Above, and I'm joined here today by singer-songwriter Frayne Vibez. How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm great. How have you been? How are you doing?
Amazing. Getting ready for the new single, of course, coming up. I'm just excited. Very excited. Grateful to be here.
Absolutely, and we are going to get into that. So are you ready to start this interview?
Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect. So first and foremost, what inspired you to pursue a career in music?
So music has always been a part of my life with my family. My dad's a producer, my grandpa, the famous pianist, Ramsey Lewis. But it was when I got to high school where I had my true growing pains, and I was feeling like I couldn't have anybody to talk to. I was in the band, I had braces. I was completely just nah, this ain't happening. This is so I had nothing, and I felt like the only outlet was music. And I remember it was the end of freshman, maybe sophomore year of high school. I was just surfing late at night on YouTube, and I found lo-fi hip hop, and I was like, yo, this is different. And it was so warm, and it was embracing, and the sonics just made me feel safe. And from there, I was like, I want to make something like this where I can recreate that safe escape for other people.
I love that. And people always say music is literally therapeutic for the person creating the song and then for people who relate to that. So
Absolutely.
speaking of, how would you define your sound, and what kind of message do you like to relay through your music?
I would definitely, if I had to put a immediate label on it, I would say indie alternative pop, maybe.
Nice.
But definitely more towards the indie alternative world. And I chose that based off of what I was growing up and listening to. And so with my message throughout all my music, I just want people to be themselves. Feel like they don't have to try to fit in, because that was my problem in high school. It was always the cliques and the cliches and being judged for just how you talk and how you walk and everything. I was like, dude, this is whack. And so my message is just be yourself. If nobody wants to mess with you, they can kick rocks, live your life how you want to live it, because it just makes no sense. I know people have their own things that they're going through in their lives, but you just can't put that on other people. And it's important to be yourself and not feel like you have to try to appease to somebody. Just be yourself. And that's why I always want people to get from my music. Be yourself. If you want to pop this music whenever you're in the car, if you're doing, getting ready for the day, you're making breakfast, whatever, just be happy, be yourself. That's it. Always.
Absolutely. And see, that's the growing pains of high school, right? You have to deal with all that. These movies that have these little cliques and things, it's all true.
I know. It's
We're literally fighting for our lives out here.
For real.
Now, you are from Chicago. So how would you say growing up in the Chi has influenced your music and artistic style? And I feel like there's so much culture in Chicago.
Oh yeah. And most of my family is in Chicago. I specifically grew up in the west suburbs. And so that's why a lot of my music and a lot of my influences, The Neighborhood, Panic at the Disco, Plain White Tees. But then my mom was bumping Heather Headley, Leona Lewis, SWV. My dad's bumping Bruce Hornsby, Go West, Sade, Seal. So all this amalgamation of all these different influences that were around me inspired all my music. But Chicago is a lot of my family is in Chicago, and so there's just something different about Chicago. Like I love the people. I love the hustle and bustle of the city. It feels so it's so weird, but like there's just a lot of love in Chicago. And you
Hmm.
can feel it whenever you're in the streets, whenever some people just randomly want to just talk smack to you, but it's wholeheartedly. It's wholeheartedly and it's wholesome. And that's also how I characterize Chicago. It's just a very wholesome, humble city. And
You're probably
that's
the first person to ever call Chicago wholesome.
it's just you if you get it, you get it. But there's something about Chicago where you're like, man, there's just something about the city where people are just living their lives and they just doing them. And there's something wholesome about it. Obviously, it's the city, so people be tripping. But
There's something there.
right, there
You
is.
gotta find it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, growing up in Chicago, that's what I've always felt. I've always loved it and embraced it. That's why I want to definitely show like a different side of the city.
I
That's
love
my
that. Quincy Jones is from Chicago, right?
believe so.
I feel like
I
he
believe,
is. So I mean, it's already made for greatness out there.
yeah, true.
Now, speaking of, we have to get into your music because, like you mentioned earlier, you do have a new single that is set to release shortly on June 6th titled Savior. And you actually describe Savior as a stripped down confession. So, how do you tap into that level of vulnerability in your songwriting? How does that work out for you?
And I can tell by the look in your eyes, you got your heart on your sleeve. You turn 22.
So when I was getting fully into songwriting, and this was in like college, I had taken a trip to LA with Cosign, who produced the song. And when we were writing, and when he was teaching me about making a song and building a song, he had told me it is vulnerable hour. You have to be honest because this art form that we make and what we do, there's no halfway with it. You can't hold back because that's felt.
Yep.
Whenever you're not being honest and whenever you're not truly expressing yourself, that's felt no
Hmm.
matter what. And so in this, I had to take that vulnerable journey and take that vulnerable step in this song with Savior. And with songwriting, it's just getting to the nitty gritty of how I was feeling, what happened on that day, what situations were festering in my mind, what did I want to change, what could I have changed, and then even spiraling about all the other things that I had in my head about when I was going through that situation, which is completely Savior. It's just the spiraling of somebody that you're infatuated with and you want to show them that you're better for them than the other person they're dealing with. It is the embodiment of that.
I mean, a lot of people could relate to that, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Cosign, Grammy nominated producer, you mentioned that he did work with you on this track. So, what was that collaboration like? And do you feel like working with Cosign, did that bring something special to the single?
Yeah, absolutely. I love Cosign because he's like a big brother to me because we grew up going to the same church. And
Nice.
so, and literally, we were like a bridge apart from each other, living wise. We were like the Bridge Brothers. But yeah, but him and my dad would play in the church, and I would be in the pews watching them. And so now to be working with him and making music, it's just family at this
Full
point.
circle.
Right, literally, it's just family. And making this music with him, it's easy because it's family. So I feel like I can talk and express myself and not be like, okay, does this person really like even care? I know him.
You can be
So
your authentic self.
that strips away any like slight hesitancy to fully immerse myself. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for all this because it's family, and that is something that you don't get all the time.
I love that. Y'all need to just make a full album of collaboration and call it the Bridge Brothers.
Oh, that would be crazy. That would be
Hey,
crazy.
start a whole nother project.
That
Boom.
would be crazy. Yeah, that's a
Y'all
good idea.
heard it here first.
That was a great idea.
Now, you mentioned your family's legacy and your history in the beginning of the interview when we talked about what inspired you to pursue music. And you just quickly brushed over how your grandfather is a musical legend. So we have to get into that a little bit more. Ramsey
Yeah.
Lewis, he is a well-known jazz player. So he obviously left a mark on music. So what would you say his legacy, like the impact of his legacy for you, both personally and musically?
hmm Personally, that was just grandpa. And he made like he it's funny because personally and musically, he just wanted me to know like I'm grandpa. All
Mhm.
right. Like all the fame, all the accolades, that's great, but I'm grandpa. And the only thing musically that he instilled in me is to keep everything about the music. Just
Mhm.
make good music and keep it about the music. All of the chaos and all of the loud noises and whatever fame and honor and glory, whatever, any of that, you have to focus on the music. Keep it about the music. That's what you do it for. That's why you keep walking. That's why you love this life you live because you get to put it into the music. Keep it about the music. And that's what he instilled in me musically. And personally, he was just grandpa. I would hang out with him, go to restaurants. He would always take me to like his favorite spots around the city. And yeah, I love him. I love him.
See, I like that. It's always funny when people have a well-known person in their family who left a mark in this world. It reminded me of an interview I saw not too long ago of Beyonce's nephew, Jules, Solange's son.
Oh,
And
okay.
they asked him some kind of question about like, oh, what is it like having Beyonce as your aunt? He was like, she's just my aunt. Like,
You're right.
I don't understand why everyone's so hype off her. And I was like, I'm like, it's literally just like just my grandpa. That's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
like he does not view her the same way everyone else does. Like she comes over our house for family get-togethers. I don't care.
Right,
It's my
right, right.
whatever. So that's so interesting. Like I love when people say that because it kind of humanizes that individual again, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
Now,
absolutely.
when it comes to your family's legacy, what does it mean to you to carry on that musical legacy? And also defining your own path. Like, do you find it difficult to create your own narrative and your own path in music because your dad, your grandfather, like there's so many amazing
Mm,
talented people in your family who already does music. So is
100%.
it hard to separate the two, at least with the public, to kind of have
Okay.
your own lane?
Oh, that's a great question. It never was a problem because my family was just so supportive
Mm,
inherently about what I was doing with music, and with what I was making and the sound of the indie alternative. I never even, I guess that in itself was me already choosing my own path.
hmm
And within that, I was like, I just want to do this because I love this. And this is the path I want to take because I love this sound and I love this music. And they're like, yeah, for sure, do it. It sounds great. And so there wasn't any inherent nerves of, okay, I want to think like, okay, I'm doing this and I make music, but they're going to compare it to that. I was just simply basing off of what I love listening to, the Mac DeMarcos, Kukos, Claros, Hope Tala, Tame Impala, all the different artists I love listening to. And I was like, I want to make music like that. That's my own that people can escape and love. And that solely was my journey. And they just supported me on that.
Nice. See, that's all you need, just that family support.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for them too.
Yes, and you had mentioned purpose before. I read about it on your site. So, what does purpose mean to you as a musician, and how do you protect that purpose as the industry constantly changes and fluctuates? How do you maintain
Mm,
that?
man, purpose. It's just maintaining who I am.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main focus. Just making sure that the people I love, the people I make music for are good, making sure that I'm not losing sight of the goal, which is to make great music. And whatever, like how I brought up with like my grandpa saying keep it about the music. Even all the noise of getting off of this tour with Lupe, people, people get a little weird and change like, oh, Frayne, this, how was this, how was this? It's like, man, I just came back home and I went to my IHOP. Like I just like I'm just chilling. Like I'm literally just I'm chilling. I'm about to go home and play the game, then make music tomorrow. So it's just staying me, staying grounded. And I feel like my purpose will just continue to flourish from that. And I'll just keep growing within that.
Shout outs to you. And we have to touch on that because we're not going to just allow you to quickly breeze through that again. With this tour with Lupe Fiasco, how did this opportunity come about for you and what was that experience like?
Oh, absolutely. So shout out to Lupe and everybody first.
Yeah.
But I actually was holding like a little listening session for some music that me and Cosign were making at First and 15th Studios where Lupe works out of. And so I was playing the music for them beforehand to see, okay, would you guys be fine with us playing this music here? And Lupe's manager was there listening. He's like, whoa, this music is crazy. And then he talked to my manager, and then so forth went on the tour because they just believed and they support me so much. So again, I'm grateful. Shout out to them. Shout out Lupe. Shout out everybody First and 15th. They just
Yes.
believe in the music, and they're like, oh, he's got to go on the tour. That's how.
Congratulations. That's all about being at the right place at the right
I
time.
know.
Like
Literally.
literally, shout outs to you.
Thank you, man. Shout out to them too. That's just, I'm grateful.
Yes, and as you navigate the music industry, what would you say has been an eye-opening challenge or lesson thus far for you? If you could think of one thing, what would you say?
Challenge. If I had to say a challenge in the industry, I think it would just be because of the format of how people like try to grab onto what music is sometimes. Especially like I always get the stigma as soon as I come up to people, they're like, "Oh, you make music?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I make music." And they're like, "Okay, what is it? Hip hop or R&B?" I'm like, "Nah,
Mm.
it's indie alternative pop." Like, "Huh? Let me check it out." So, it's just that stigma that has to be pushed past. But that's really the only thing. Everything else has just been amazing and making music and continuing to make that good music. But that's the only thing, and it's just you can't.
Yeah, it's the inevitable.
It's the inevitable. It's the inevitable.
But on the bright side, what would you say has been your favorite or the most memorable moment thus far throughout your journey in the music industry?
Oh, absolutely. When I am meeting people that love the music, and that's what because they are what I do this for. And people coming up after, especially during the tour, when people come up and like, bro, I love your music. Where is it? I gotta find it. It reminded me of this and this day when I was out with my girl, all this and this. Like people just really dive into it, and I'm so appreciative of that. And that's what I do it for. And that hands down, even when people reach out on social media and like, bro, your song is crazy. I can't wait for it to come out. Just people receiving it and loving it and wanting to relay that to me is why I do this.
I know that got to be the best feeling.
Easily, yeah.
Yes, I was like, I could see the joy just coming out of you as soon as you start talking about it, like
Yeah.
in you, like passion. Now, we got to know what is next for Frayne Vibez. You have your single Savior coming out. I know you probably have some other things in the tuck. Summertime is upon us, so everybody finna be outside.
Yes.
Obviously, it is whatever you are allowed to disclose. What would you
Oh
like to
yeah.
share with our audience?
Okay, around the fourth quarter, gonna definitely be another single and then some tours.
Ooh.
Yeah. Some shows, some tours. So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout.
Yes. Now, for everybody who do want to stay on the lookout and know when the tours and the new singles coming up, how can they do that? How can they find Frame Vibes and stay up to date with everything that is going on in your world?
Absolutely everything at FRAYNE VIBEZ everywhere.
Yes, across all streaming platforms, all social platforms.
Everywhere.
Boom. So you guys have no excuse not to find Frame Vibes. And when you do, make sure you stream, like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show that support. But before you guys go, make sure you also follow us. We are available on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at _all-of-the-above-1. That is how you guys stay up to date with everything that is going on in our show. And make sure you also hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That is where you will see this amazing interview with the talented Frayne Vibez, as well as a host of other interviews with celebrities, local events, local guests, all that good stuff. And last but not least, make sure you also visit our website at www.alloftheabove-podcast.com. That is where you will have the list of hubs of all of our links and everything under one umbrella, so you have no excuse not to find us.
No excuse.
Yes, Frayne Vibez. Thank you so, so much. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
Oh, thank you so much. Truly. It was a pleasure. Thank you again. Great questions, too. Truly.
Thank you. I wish you so much continued success. Hope you continue flourishing out here. I know you'll continue flourishing out here, and we cannot wait to see what you got cooking up for Q4.
Thank you. I wish you all the best as well. Truly.
Yes, I'm your girl, Angel Marie, and we will see you guys next time.
Wednesdays at 7, Angel Marie and Kevin playing the illest records, bringing us back together. Philly is all season, storming through any weather, leaving the track bleeding, way we pull it together. We applying my pressure, I am your new professor, teaching in some semester, pay attention to lessons. I like a chili pepper fresh out of Louisiana, it's all the above, best believe we do it better. I want the fame, the fortune.